Oh, she's going to do an interview tomorrow night.
With Tim, though.
With Tim, because she's a strong woman, so she wants a strong man by her side.
She does not want to be alone out there,
No.
which is wild. You have to be alone. Who the fuck has ever done an interview? The only interview since they have been nominated by their party, right? Since they've been chosen. Who has ever not done an interview for this long?
Yeah, and then I get why, because they get away with it. Look, they got a very compliant and incurious media for the most part, right? And they're just letting it go. Compliant.
But it's more than compliant.
I know. I'm trying to.
Yeah, you're trying to be nice.
Yeah, I'm trying to be nice.
Complicit is a better word.
Yeah, and it's on CNN, and it's taped. It's not even live.
Right.
And it's the two of them, and there is no way in hell. Maybe I'm going to be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's a hard-hitting interview where they ask. I tell you what, actually, what I would love to have them ask first is, okay, Vice President. I guess you have to say Madam Vice President. How long were you aware of President Biden's mental decline?
Yes.
Because right up until the last minute, you were talking about how sharp his attack he was, and how vigorous he was, and how he was, better than men half his age. And what I don't understand is how people aren't marching on Washington with pitchforks and torches over the fact that this small group, her and who else? Anita Dunn, the chief of staff over at the White House, Klain, a variety of that cabal's not that big, of people who had daily contact with President Biden. And they just lied to the American public for a significantly long time. They just deceived the American public, and nobody seems to give a shit, right?
Well, it's also, why was anyone believing it?
Right.
That's what was crazy.
Right.
And we were getting shit on left and right during the campaign, where I was like, when I compared him, I said, Biden being president is like having a flashlight with a bad battery and going for a long walk in the woods. There's no fucking way.
Banging on it, and it's not working.
Make it.
Yeah.
And people were saying, no, don't you know he stutters? And they were saying all the. Well, there's no evidence of him stuttering when he was younger. This is crazy.
Yeah,
There's a mental decline there. There's nothing wrong with mental decline. We're all going to experience it someday, kids.
Yeah.
But to say that it's not happening just because you don't want the other side to win is bananas.
Yeah,
it's
and
really
that's what
crazy.
it was. Anytime you called it out, because we all saw it, like you said, we're all heading in that direction. It's probably the one thing we all have in common. And we all know what it looks like. Everyone's got aging parents or aging grandparents.
Yes.
And so we knew it intuitively, right? Every time you saw him and he made a slip up or he faltered or he just kind of started staring off into space or he moved the way that he was moving, like you've seen your grandpa move, we knew it. But if you dared bring it up, you were just kicked in the ass, right? And suddenly somehow you were ageist and you were hyper partisan and you were just and you were MAGA and you were
the epitome of gaslighting.
Yeah,
gaslighting to the extreme, because it was so obvious and in your face. It's like, no, it's not raining out. Like, what? It's fucking pouring. Like, what are you talking about? Full gaslighting right in front of your face.
Yeah, and so that I would love that to be the very first question. Can you explain to us at what point in time you actually became aware that he was in significant mental decline, right? And again, I feel bad for the guy. I feel bad for anybody who's in that position. Right?
Sure.
But he's the fucking commander-in-chief, right? He's the leader of the free world. So I think we have a right to expect more from that situation. But I don't think there's going to be none of those questions.
His last fuck you was saying that he wants Harris to take his place. That was his last fuck you, because from what I understand, they wanted to have a primary, and they wanted to pick their own person, and they didn't want to have Harris.
Yeah, she was nobody's idea of the best, most competent, most qualified candidate up until they orchestrated this, whatever you want to call it, anointment or coronation or
coup.
Call it a coup. Call it a coup.
It seems like a coup.
Yeah. So until that point, she wasn't the preferred, but now she's fucking Beyonce and Joan of Arc and
well, she had that one speech where she really fucking nailed it when she was talking about Trump, and this is after Trump even got shot, when she didn't even address the fact that we have to be more tolerant and You
mean that teleprompter speech? Yeah.
That teleprompter speech, she fucking nailed it.
Yeah.
She nailed it. But when you get her off teleprompter, she's fucked.
Yeah.
She's fucked.